Hi, I'm Melody.
I'm Candi.
And I'm Gabe.
And you're listening to
Quirks,
Bumps,
and Bruises. Well, it's Melody, Candi, and Gabe. Quirks, Bumps, and Bruises. And we still haven't decided who's the quirk, who's the bump, and who's the bruise. But we have, and I think it interchanges each and every day. But we are especially excited to have Karen Peck with us this morning on the podcast. Thank you so much for being along with us. So, Karen, Thanksgiving is just right around the corner, coming up soon. So let's just hop right into it. Is there one particular Thanksgiving tradition at your house that it is a must, and if you don't do it, somebody's going to be mad?
Well, I will say this. We have a tradition that we have done every year since Rick and I have been married. But on Thanksgiving Day at noon, we go to his mother's and we have turkey and dressing and all the trimmings. And then that afternoon, about 5 or 6 o'clock, we go to my mama's house and we have turkey and dressing and everything that goes with it. And by every year, this is no lie, we will drive home from my mom's and I'll say, if I ever put a piece of food in my mouth ever again, I would be fine with that. I am so full. The next day we get up, what we're going to eat today?
I know. It's like a bottomless pit.
I know, but that's really our tradition. And but yeah, that is the way. And my mother, she makes the best homemade macaroni and cheese. And so if she did not have that and her famous dressing, no, that would not work. So that's something that we have to have. And the same thing with my mother-in-law. Both my mom and mother-in-law, they are tremendous cooks.
Yeah.
So, but those are traditions right there.
That's awesome. I love tradition. My house is very full of traditions because my daughter will not have it any other way. Yeah. I mean, it's got to be like it was when she was a child. Yeah. And if anything gets askew, I hear about it. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you not doing that? Yeah. So I love tradition. Well, Karen, we know that you're known for shopping.
Oh, yeah.
And we know that you love to shop. And it seems like I remember seeing, I think on Facebook, and I'm not sure if it's Christmas or if it's your birthday or anniversary, but there's one particular day out of the year where you get to go shopping and Ricky carries all of your bags.
All your
Is
gear.
that true?
It's Christmas. Yes, that is. Now, you talking about tradition. That's something that if that did not happen, I would be so disappointed. I'm telling you, we have to do that every year. But that is a gift that Ricky gives to me. He says, okay, I'll take you shopping. Now, he does not like to shop, but he will take me shopping that one day, and he will not complain. And he will not say, okay, I'm ready to go now. And never. He will go and he'll sit on the little benches and wait on me. But he takes me shopping. What we do is we go to Atlanta and we go out to dinner. We spend the night downtown Atlanta somewhere. We get up the next morning and we go to the apparel mart there in downtown Atlanta. And I can get anything I want. He will buy me anything. I mean, within reason, of course. But he will buy me anything I want. And then he carries all of my bags. And y'all,
you taking notes, Gabe?
No kidding.
Well, apparently I need to be making some changes at the Duncan house.
That'll give you some brownie points right there, my friend.
Gabe, I'm telling you, your wife will love you forever. Listen, that is something that we have done for years and years, and I look forward. I mean, it makes me excited just thinking about it because I look forward to that every single year, and it's just so much fun, because we don't have any agenda, we don't have to be on a schedule, and he really is. I'm telling you, Ricky Gooch is a keeper, that's for sure.
Well, he may not admit it, but I bet he probably looks forward to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't like shopping, I'm sure he does.
Yeah, and he seems to be, he's always fine with it because he just says, okay, we'll go wherever you want to go, he carries those bags, and I always take pictures of it because I love it so much.
That is so sweet. Now, with shopping for Christmas, are you a in-person, I want to go in the store, touch it, feel it, look at it, or are you sit in your pajamas on a laptop on Amazon type of gal?
Well, I like to go to the shops because, listen, y'all, I'm a hustle and bustle person. I like that. I like being in the crowd. I mean, not like huge crowd, but I like the fun of Christmas because everybody's, they're happy and nobody's fussing at you for standing in line or whatever. And, people are just nice. And I love this time of year. I love it. It's my favorite time of year because people are happy.
Yeah.
And even, I know it's a sad time for a lot of people too, but really, I just feel like that and we know what that sadness feels like the year that our dad passed away, but still we can always find some kind of joy because the joy of Christmas is celebrating the birth of Jesus. So I just think it's just such a wonderful time of the year. And this time last year, we were very sad. My grandbaby had passed away. And so I just remember last year feeling so sad. And my mom and I went into a Home Goods and I saw these little bitty Christmas trees. They were sparkled, little sparkly Christmas trees. And that you fit like on your tables and stuff. I bought probably 4 of those things. And I decorated my house more last year than I have in years.
Yeah.
And every time I walked in from the road or any time I walked in the house, it would just bring me joy. So for those that are listening, I know maybe you've had a hard year. We've all had a really tough time over the last few months. But I want to encourage you, put up your tree and put up some decorations and let those lights shine bright in your house.
Yeah.
And I promise it will bring you joy. And it will remind you of the goodness of the Lord because he will never leave us nor forsake us.
We talked about that on the JoyRide this week. I put up one. I have a couple of trees in my house, put one up last week already. And someone said, why did you do it so early? I said, because it brings me joy. This world right now, Karen, as well as we do, is crazy. There's just a lot of stuff happening and moving and shaking going on. None of it taking God by surprise one bit. But nevertheless, there's some crazy things happening around us. And putting that tree up just made my heart a little happy, and no judgment zone for anybody. Yeah, if it makes you happy, put it up. We need more happy. Absolutely.
I totally 100% agree with you because honestly, I would have put my tree up 2 weeks ago because of we've been traveling so much, but my tree is going up like within the next week. Used to would put the tree up the day after Thanksgiving, but I started doing, putting my tree up around the 1st of November just because I'm like you. I think it makes me happy. And if I'm going to have these decorations up, I want to enjoy it. I mean, every minute of it. There's nothing any more wonderful than to plug in that tree and you're sitting there watching a Christmas movie on Hallmark. I have to throw that in. And it just makes me happy.
Me
so
too.
I say everybody decorate your houses this year. Let's just let the Lord shine through our homes and let's brighten up our place.
Hey, Karen, Candy's trying to find a nativity scene to go out in her front yard. And all the nativity scenes that she finds, Mary is blonde, and that's bothering her a bit.
And the baby Jesus is blonde.
That bothers you, doesn't it?
It does. I can't buy a blonde baby Jesus.
Oh, that's funny.
I can't.
I don't think Jesus had blue eyes either, do you?
No. Walmart does.
Funny. I have never noticed that before, but now that will forever be in my brain.
That is so funny. Maybe someone who don't know Jesus made that particular nativity scene.
I'd say so.
And got a little mixed up.
A little bit.
Just a little bit mixed
Yes.
up. But
Funny.
Well, Karen, artificial tree or real tree in your home?
Well, I used to have a real tree for years. We'd let the kids go and we'd go cut the tree. We live right next to a Christmas tree farm. But then when we moved into this house about 20 years ago, we had one of each because we said, okay, we'll get a live tree for the kids, and then I wanted a bigger artificial tree just for the less mess. Plus, with our traveling, I'd come home and it would be dry.
Yeah.
And so, but now I do an artificial tree.
Yeah.
I like both. And I like the smell and the scent of the live tree. I love that. But I just, over the last few years, I've been doing just all artificial tree. And it's pretty.
I have had a real tree for 36 years straight. Last year, I walked in, we put our real tree up and walked in my den area, and there were bugs all over my floor. The tree had been infested with bugs that were like asleep in the tree limbs. But then when it got in the house where it was warmer, they just dropped from the tree and started crawling everywhere.
Oh, my goodness.
And they were about the size of a pinhead. So little bitty bugs. It was like, I wanted to move. I told my husband, we're just moving. We're leaving everything here. We're moving.
Just us.
Yeah.
But just us. We're leaving our clothes. We're leaving everything.
This conversation is really bugging me.
Oh, my word.
It had to come out, didn't it?
It had
It had to come out.
To a blind joke right there.
Oh, my goodness.
So you called the Orkin man?
Well,
Pest X-Man.
Candy's husband works with pest control,
Yep.
and bless his dear heart,
Yeah.
because I had decorated the tree. I had to undecorate it. We hauled it out into the driveway, and he stood there and sprayed it with who knows what for
But
about,
it worked.
I felt like for 30 minutes. I
Oh,
kept
yeah.
looking out the door, and I'm
Lot
like,
of
he's
bugs.
still spraying. I'd look out 10 minutes later, he was still spraying. I thought, he's not even going to kill the bugs, he's going to kill the tree. But it worked, and we let that tree dry outside and then brought it back in, and I redecorated, and it was fine. But I'm kind of debating, do I want a real tree again or
don't do
not
it.
this year, as much as I love a real tree.
Jake's got a busy schedule, so you might not want a
Yeah,
real tree this year.
True.
Yeah, do y'all, Gabe and Candy, do y'all do a real tree or artificial?
Artificial.
Yeah, I'm
Both
all,
of them are artificial.
Yeah.
We had a real tree 1 year growing up that I can remember.
Never had one.
And I don't think we watered it properly, and then the needles get everywhere, and then it just...
Oh, it's an everyday thing.
Yeah, so that's not a tradition that I grew up with. So that's not something that's really dear to
Yeah.
my heart. You know, people that grew up with that, they are like you, Melody, like, okay, it has to be a real tree.
Yeah.
But no, I'm
Yeah.
fine. I want an artificial one pre-lit. I like a lot of lights.
Buy you a little Christmas tree, balsam fir,
That's
candle,
it.
and
Get
you're
you
good.
a little car
Hey, Karen,
thing.
you
Yeah, put it in there. Yep.
You and I are very close, I think, to the same age. I don't know about you, but in my home as a child, I had the aluminum tree with the light wheel that went around and around. Were you
Right.
familiar with those?
I am. Matter of fact, Grant that sings with us, he's been trying to find one online. They're expensive.
They're expensive now. Like, they're all
It's a
the rage
throwback.
now.
Yeah.
But you would stick the limbs
He
in
could've-
one at a time, and then the rotary thing would throw out color onto those aluminum branches. Yeah.
Yes, that is really something. Oh, yeah, I remember those days. You know, I had Rick and I, not the house that we're living in now, but the house that we had before. We had, of course, the kids went and they picked out the tree. We cut it down. So Ricky put up the tree, of course, right there in the living room. And so that afternoon, when I went into the living room, the tree was down on the floor, and it had fallen. Well, I don't decorate the back because when you walk in, you can't really see it
Right,
that much. And I
right.
put a few decorations on the back, but no.
Right.
And so then, lo and behold, he put it right back up. We got it standing up the next morning. It was right down on the floor again. It had fallen over. So I told Ricky, nail it to the floor. So if he got the nail and a hammer and nailed that tree to the floor.
Goodness.
You know you're a redneck when you
Man.
nail your Christmas tree to the floor. And let me tell you, Susan, my sister Susan has the most beautiful Hallmark ornament tree. Her tree is immaculate. Sherry Easter. I told them that I nailed that tree to the floor. They were out of their mind. And when I told them even more that I did not decorate the back of the tree, they were even just out of their minds. That's been a big inside joke for the last few years.
Well,
Both
I'm
of
with
them
you, Karen. I do not decorate the back of my tree either. You can't see it.
Exactly.
Well, listen, you better make sure it doesn't fall on the floor. But I'll tell you, I do now the tree that I have now, because it's right in front of the window, I have to decorate it all around. Never a time that I ever decorate that tree now that I don't laugh at myself for not decorating the back of the tree in the other house.
Well, it sounds to me like you're just a problem solver. If there's a problem, you know how to fix it. Nail that sucker to the floor and fix that problem. I think you and Clark Griswold would get along very, very well.
We would get along so well, I'm telling you.
Oh, goodness. Before we go, I know that last Christmas you talked about being so sad because of the loss of that precious baby, which you will see again one day. But this Christmas, is it going to be a little different?
We're celebrating. My daughter-in-law is she's having a baby girl.
Yay.
It'll be January 28th. So we are so thankful, and she's doing very well. She's not traveling with us now just because of, the virus still being out there in places. But she's such a beautiful person. Presley is my daughter-in-law, her name, and I just adore her. And but she's doing very well. Baby's doing well. And so this year is a better year.
Yeah.
Good.
Sometimes I feel like, Karen, you and I have our lives cross in a lot of ways because our kids got married real close together, and I just found out that I'm going to be a grandmother in April. So,
you go,
Granny Melody.
yes.
Oh, that's great. Well, okay, so what is the baby going to call you?
Well,
Granny.
no, I don't want. I don't know, Karen. I'm not sure what. I really don't want to be called Granny, but hey, if it happens that way, it does.
Well, what is Karen going to be? And then you two can match.
Yeah, what are you going to be?
Well, I'll tell y'all, the dogs have always called me Granny.
The dogs?
Yeah, I'll say, come to Granny.
Your dog? Oh, I thought you meant your dogs talked.
There's something in the water down in Georgia, y'all.
Really?
I'm telling you. Well, I always say, come to Gran, come to Granny.
Yeah.
And but Ricky and the kids, they are saying, no way. You are not going to be called Granny because you're not the Beverly Hillbillies. and so
They know you
anyway,
nailed a Christmas tree to the floor, right?
Right. Granny might fit you good.
That is so good. I love that. But at this point, I don't know yet. I don't know. They said, well, what if you call Granny? Maybe Granny instead of Granny.
Mm-hmm.
So I might do that, or I don't know. I really don't know yet.
My kids called my mom me mommy. And so my daughter, she's the one again that is the traditionalist. She really would like to, carry that same name. My mother passed away about 3 years ago. She'd like to carry that tradition on. So I don't know. We may just let the kids do it. Sometimes it just comes out of them.
And what happens if they call you Granny?
Well, it'll just have to be, Candy. It will just have to be. But we don't know, Karen. My daughter and son-in-law are not going to find out what the gender of the baby is. So until they have the baby, so we don't know what we're having.
Oh, wow. Well, now that's exciting.
Yeah. She said her doctor, when they told the doctor they didn't want to know, the doctor was more excited than
They don't see that,
He
probably.
said this never happens. So when we have a patient that's having a baby that doesn't find out, it's like the most exciting thing for the staff, But anyway, exciting. I know you're excited, and I'm over the moon excited as well. And we're going to be good grandmothers, Karen. We're
Y'all
gonna
will be
good
great
ones.
grannies. Y'all, both of you will.
We're gonna be the best grannies. And you know what? I think it really is. It really is awesome how our lives have parallels. And but you know what? But to think that our babies are having babies, that's just to me the ultimate. I will say this honestly: my greatest accomplishments in life are my kids.
Oh, amen.
I love being a mother more than anything, and I just adore them, and to see them, do well, and I'm just so grateful.
And to love Jesus, Karen.
Amen.
When your kids love Jesus and serve Him, there's just no greater joy for a parent.
That's the truth. That is the truth. And but we're going to celebrate.
Yes, we are. Another kind of interesting parallel is that you said the due date for Matthew and Presley's baby was January 28th, and usually first babies are a couple days late. Well, my daughter's birthday is January 30th.
Oh,
So would that not be weird?
wouldn't it be?
Yeah. So
that is so neat. Well, now when is your baby in April? What is the date?
April
The due date?
22nd is the due date.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So
I love that.
My daughter is married to, it's an interesting thing. I work here for Joy FM, but I'm a worship leader. I have been for like 36 years. And our pastor retired about 5 years ago. We got a new pastor in, and now my daughter is married to that pastor. So,
Oh my goodness!
yeah. So that pastor, he's my son-in-law. He is my boss.
Your pastor.
And my pastor. So it's interesting.
Oh, I love that on so many levels.
Oh,
That
it was a God story beyond. I mean, it was just an amazing story how that all transpired, and it was all done through prayer.
Oh, I love that.
So,
love that
yeah.
so much. Well, and you're talking about your baby is due April the 22nd of 22. And so those twos, those are important numbers. I love numbers. And we're actually going to have a new record that's going to drop. It's going to release on 2/22/22. So we're excited about our new record in February.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I noticed how I transitioned that, but I just wanted to throw that in there. But I just think that's so neat.
That's
you know,
awesome.
So
that's awesome. Well, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for spending some time with us on
Yes.
Quirks, Bumps, and Bruises. And I can honestly say you're not a quirk, a bump, or a bruise. So I don't know what we're going to call you. Quirks, Bumps, and Bruises, and a whole lot of love. That's what we'll
There
call
you go.
it. And so we thank
I
you so
love
much.
that.
Congratulations, Karen. You're our very first guest on our Quirks,
That's
Bumps, and Bruises
right.
podcast. Our first guest. Congratulations.
It's always been just us.
Oh, thank you. I'm number one.
We had just a whole list of people to choose from, and we picked
Yes.
you.
You are number one in more ways than one.
Yes.
You are.
Y'all are so sweet. Thank you. I am so honored to be your first guest. Well, that is just, I said guest. Guest. Well, the guest too. Yeah. But guess who that is? But y'all, this is so much fun. And you know what? I love this because we are able to talk about, more deeply about things. And but this is great. I have had so much fun. Thank y'all for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Quirks, Bumps, and Bruises podcast with Melody, Candi, and Gabe. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and share the podcast. You can learn more at joyfm.org.